Casey from Casey Grandpa Tech. We're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, Epcot. I went to ride it with my wife yesterday. It's an intense ride. Stay tuned. I'm going to give you a total review, give you some pictures. You're not going to want to miss this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be right back to you. So this is what it looks like in the outside of the ride. You have the Nova spaceship telling you, as you remember from the movie, basically it's a theme-based roller coaster. Basically, the Nova Prime people have come to Earth. They are interfacing with us. The entire access that you go into the ride while you're waiting, obviously, for crowd control. They have to do something, otherwise you'll be bored out of your mind. So the entire thing is how the Nova Prime people came to Earth. They call us Terrans, and how the Guardians of the Galaxy saved the universe, and you're going up and down and up and down. And entire story until you get to the actual platform. Right now, Disney's system is they're now using the virtual queue. So any other type of pass you have doesn't work. Basically, what I had to do at 1 o'clock, I had to immediately get on the app and tap, and I was able to get it to time for 5:30 that night. And so we got on the ride, and I'm going to tell you about that. Let's talk about the actual cars that you're going to be riding in. As you can see right here, these are the cars. They are rotating cars, so that during the ride you'll be turned sideways, you'll be turned backwards, you'll be riding forwards, you'll be riding backwards. Very intense ride. The seats are cushioned and come around you like so, and you do have only support you have is a very large lap bar. Track, of course, obviously you are in the dark, so you don't see all of this. But as you can see here in the ride, the tracks is intense. A lot of loops, curves, turns, and accelerations. And during the ride, the cars not only will face forward, but the cars will be rotated back and forth to give you a different experience. That in itself makes you very shaken. So if you have motion sickness or pregnant or any of this stuff, you shouldn't be on this ride at all. If you're familiar with Space Mountain, this would be like Space Mountain on steroids. In your ride, obviously, you are going to launch out into space. And this is the track coming up to your launch. What has basically happened is they're going to launch you because the Guardians of the Galaxy are not available, so you're going to be going and tracking after this person who has stole a gate in space. That is, without ruining it for you, the storyline that you're going to get. And the ride is extremely intense. You are supposed to be like traveling in space. Now, if you're familiar with the movie The Guardians of the Galaxy, when they made the space jumps, and they made the space jump 39 times, and you go, this is the kind of experience that you're going to be going. You're going to be going through stargates. You're going to slow down, go through a gate. Next thing you know, you're turning left. You're trying to avoid collisions. You're trying to move this way. You're trying to chase after the bad guys and avoid being destroyed yourself. So that's the intensity. The amount of graphics, the amount of visual effects is extremely good. But at the same time, you are going to be jostled about left and right and left and right. And so let me tell you, as I said, the seats that you're riding in, they do turn to give you a different experience, or to position you in the best view so you can see what's going on. Obviously, you have several cars, 1, 2, 3 behind each other. So to give you an intensity, they turn the entire car facing where you want to see. Now, as you come off the ride, the cars slow down, they rotate facing the screen, and the Guardians of the Galaxy thank you for saving the galaxy, and you're an honorary member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, not really, they say. Like I said, the ride in itself is quite intense. It is well made. the amount of graphics, the amount of interaction, strobing lights, the accelerations to give you the effect of being thrown through a Stargate. You're fighting with an enemy, so you're obviously moving back and forth. They time the graphics and the timing with the tracks turning left, turning right, so you are actually feeling that you're in a starship moving back and forth. That being said, it is very intense in sense because the car is actually sometimes rotating backwards and forwards to give you the effects so that you get the best view. And as you turn, now you're being jostled left to right. By the time you get off the ride, if you have any problems with motion sickness or you have epilepsy and strobing lights are in effect, you definitely don't want to ride on this ride. It was extremely intense. Now, this was my wife's birthday. She was 70 years old. We were going out for the day. We both were tousled, and when we came off the ride, I had to be helped off the ride. I couldn't figure out where I was. I mean, the room was spinning, my ears were ringing. That's how intense this ride is. A lot of people who got off the ride, I noticed when we got down to the bottom of the ride, there were people who were sitting down holding their heads. Some people had lost their lunch. You don't understand what I'm saying. Unlike some rides where normally you come out of the ride and there's a merchandise area, they obviously knew that this ride was going to be intense and people could get sick because they did not have a merch area. You end up in the open area so that you could sit down or lay down. Very, very crazy thing. It took me a couple of hours before I was able to really get my head together. It took me at least 20-30 minutes before the room stopped spinning. And I noticed that a lot of people were in the same boat as I was. So if you're going to ride on this ride, ride it with caution. Some people, this kind of ride, they get it, they enjoy it, it doesn't bother them. But for me, I will never ride the ride again. It was a one-time life experience. Now, Tron is going to be opening this fall. In fact, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride is right next to Test Track, and they're building Tron right next to it. I'm hoping that, I don't know what Tron is going to be like, and I'm going to be losing a little caution on whether I'm going to ride that ride. Anyway, this is a quick and fast review of the ride. I hope this was helpful for you in making the decision whether you want to ride it. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as of this date. And don't forget to share. So this is Casey from Casey Grandpa Tech out. Until next time, have a great day.